sweet dear magical friends. Welcome, willkommen to your weekly horoscope and taroscope with me, Natalie, spelled N-A-T-A-L-E-E. In this video, we're going to open up the astrology and collective energy for the week ahead using remote viewing, Western astrological interpretation, and the tarot. I'm calling this week the luckiest day of 2023 because it all wraps around that very day. And it's the day that I'm calling everyone's birthday. It is the day that we have, and you can even see it happening here, as we're building towards the Sun-Jupiter conjunction in the sign of Aries. So that takes place on Tuesday, the 11th of April. So let's start in order. Monday, we are calling Monday Psychopomps. Reason being, okay, I'm thinking of like the Addams family. So in the Addams family, they have that I think it's from I think it's an Italian thing where they have like the gondolas, and in the Addams family, it's part of their taking the trip to like the family safe with all the family gold. And so basically that's a psychopomp. A psychopomp is a creature or a person that takes us from death, from that experience into the underworld, the overworld, the afterlife. And this is someone that knows so much about it. They already know how it goes. They know much more about this process than we do. And so that's our guide. That's our guide. That's the person that knows how this all goes and what we can expect and all the things. Venus moves into Gemini. This is easy flexibility for the next few weeks, feeling a lot better and easier to have an open mind and creating a safe place for us to learn and grow. It's fun. It's through curiosity. It's through keeping the open mind and being very tolerant. So this is going to help erase any kind of intolerance that had been keeping us from opening our minds and exploring and being curious and growing. The psychopomp energy is because Venus will trine over to Pluto in Aquarius. Now, when that happens, that's Monday into Tuesday. So that happens on Monday, going into Tuesday. Tuesday is the Sun-Jupiter cazimi that builds on Monday and happens Tuesday. So I feel like all these energies are working very, very well together. Venus trining Pluto is a psychopomp. So this is telling us that there's positivity, that this is positively and safely, very protected. We're feeling very protected, transitioning our lives, transitioning our circumstances, our relationships, or even like who we are into the future. So there's this there might be like a psychopomp energy in your life or in your world that, or even just like the circumstances or how things are developing that's helping you feel confident about moving into the unknown, moving into, a circumstance or an energy, or, you're starting a new job with your best friend, or, it's like there's someone there to sort of like be that creature that's like, okay, we're going into this new experience, we're going into this new part of life, we're going into this new concept to think about. So Venus trining Pluto, I feel like whatever is changing, whatever you're deciding to change in your life, whatever change is happening upon you, there's this feeling that you're not doing it alone, that you have people, or that there are just people around to act as those psychopomps. And even personally, something is deeply transforming on a very foundational level, your appreciation, your value system. And it could even be through very new and different people with Pluto and Aquarius. So the psychopomp energy is why I'm calling Monday the psychopomp, because it's going to be kind of rare because we're only going to have Pluto and Aquarius for a very short while, but in 2024 it'll be for 20 years. So it's like very futuristic, very futuristic. So you're going to be very happy that you have, someone sort of new and different, or that you're moving to a place that's very new and different, or you're starting a job and a career that's very new and different, or you know what I'm saying? Or someone brings someone home and you're integrating someone new in the family that's very new and different, and it's helping you be in a new era of your life, being in a new, that a life has died. You know that something is over. The job is over, the relationship is over, you know, some, or even just like a way of thinking has had its time, and you can feel yourself moving into the future, moving into something new and different, but it feels good. It feels positive and it feels safe above all else. Pluto can be very hostile, but this can feel very safe moving into something new and different and unexplored. So very much love Monday for that. And, you know, if there are any changes that need to be made, you'll likely, if you're making the changes, you'll likely feel very secure about it. You'll likely feel like this is a good transition, that it's positive for you, and that it could even be increasing your value or your assets or your confidence in some way. It's like the right future to move into, or that you're going, you know, you're on the gondola, you're okay with the guide, you know, you trust the guide, like, you take me where I need to go. It's going to be great. I know it's going to be great. Go for it. I trust you. Tuesday, the 11th of April, I'm calling this day everyone's birthday. And that's because we have the Sun Jupiter cazimi, which means that the Sun and Jupiter are pretty much in the same place at the same time, a little bit with a little bit of space, but like they're lined up, okay? So on one hand, this is very reflective, personally reflective. On the other hand, it's very lucky. It's very beneficial for the right actions. So this is like, I'm calling it everyone's birthday because this is just, you know, when things just line up, when things just happen the right way, when it feels like the right time. And it's going to be very, I say, beneficial for the right actions when you are, especially if you're being brave in some way, shape, or form, or if there's you mentoring someone, if someone's mentoring you, if you are, and I wonder if this is why so many Gen Z and alphas are like really, I've been meeting so many new people, and like this with these eclipses in my fifth, 11th house axis, and so many of them are very, very quite a bit younger than me. And I wonder if it's because I'm trying to like make them wealthy and financially independent. And you know, and I'm like, you're 19, you want to talk to me about something? Like, let me tell you everything that I wish I knew. Let me just fill you up. Let me, if I can save you, if I can tell them about balancing the checkbooks and investing and you know, all of the different things, taxes, everything. If I could just save you, not just time, but if I can save you your youth and just power you up and just give you all these keys, like personally, I'm very interested. I just want to see what they'll do, you know, but it's like empowering, like, let me just put you up. Let's just see what you do with all this. You know, this could be really positive for that kind of thing, but that would be like a right action. That would be like a beneficial, you know, energy for both sides. You know, it helps them because they're getting, you know, some knowledge, and it's helping me because I get the good feeling of helping them, of helping to progress humanity forward. So it's good karma all around. Now here's the thing. So let's say it's your birthday party, it's everyone's birthday party. This is why it's reflective. You might feel like you are missing someone at the birthday party. You might look around and feel like someone should be here, or that there should, something's off, or that you feel like you wish you'd done more, or that you wish you didn't do something this past year, or, you know, something like that. That could prompt a lot of very deep thinking and feeling, thus stimulating personal growth. So the only trap is to try anything on this energy that's performative. So when I say performative, I mean it's insincere. It's not real, it's not true. You're not really excited, you're not really wanting to be brave, or you're not really wanting to, you know, and this is the thing with the performative, is that people may try and they want the credit for trying, but they're not being sincere in how they're trying. They're not being sincere in what they're doing to try, or to lead to, you know, whatever it happens to be. So this energy could be really lovely and really helpful and very lucky when you're taking the first step, when you're taking the right actions, when you're being the pioneer, when you're being brave, so long as it's sincere. If it's insincere, there may be internal growth from different reasons. So some things might happen that get ahead of you, and it might cause you to reflect. It might make you look back and think, oh, So that's I still feel like it's beneficial. So we don't make a judgment on any of these things, good or bad. It's just how you use it and the perspective that you have. So there could be anything that's going on Monday, Tuesday, and you still will be able to make the best of it from the correct perspective that you're having. I feel like my chair is so squeaky, and I'm not sure if you guys can hear it or not. So I apologize if you can hear the squeaky chair. Okay, something's going to prompt the internal growth though, or the growth in that Aries area of life. So if you are missing someone at the birthday party, you feel like someone should be there, you'll have the power, you'll have the intuitive feeling, that internal growth, that like, how am I going to make this right? How am I going to change? How am I going to do something different next time? Wednesday, the 12th of April, I'm calling it busy work. So the moon in Capricorn opposes Mars in Gemini. I must have been used to saying it for 7 months. The moon in Capricorn opposes Mars in Cancer, also going to trine Mercury in Taurus and square Jupiter in Aries. So the moon in Capricorn opposing Mars in Cancer is very driven emotionally to accomplishment. So I like Wednesday for like getting a lot done, especially because you just had big days on Monday and Tuesday. So this, like, the rest of the week is going to be working on what the first 2 days of the week brought up. You're working on it. So Wednesdays for busy work. The thing about the moon and Mars opposition on this axis, on the Capricorn Cancer axis, it does say that you are going to feel where the imbalance is. Not just like, it doesn't have to be personal relationships, but it's wherever that discipline and that commitment is misplaced, and wherever the raw emotional volatility is unrestrained and causing an issue. So if you, for instance, some people may feel resentment on Wednesday, and that'll be because you've committed to things, relationships, people, and situations that's insincere, that has become something that doesn't resonate with you anymore, or that you just feel like you're not being appreciated, or you're not getting a proper return on your investment of the hard work that you are doing and putting into, whatever this happens to be. So if you're feeling like that hard feeling on Wednesday, that's why. If you're feeling resentment, or like, oh, I don't want to do this, you might feel that. That's why. On the other side, Mars in Cancer could also be that could be like the emotional drive to succeed. That could be the emotional commitment, the emotional passion is what I meant to say, like the emotional passion towards something. But if there's too much of the Mars in Cancer, the moon in Cap's going to check it. If there's too much moon in Cap, Mars in Cancer is going to check it. So if you're too committed, then, like, if you're too committed and disciplined and working too hard, someone or something will have an emotional need that they want you to be present for. And you might resent that because whatever your reasons are. On the flip side, there could be an emotional, like a raw emotionality that cannot continue to go on like unrestrained and just, emotionally hijacking a situation. That needs to be checked by the moon in Capricorn. The only thing I'll say is that moon in Capricorn, let's say you have like a spouse that they're trying to quit smoking, or they're trying to stop overeating, or they're trying to get over something. That moon in Capricorn, if they're taking too long, or if they're not making any progress, that moon in Capricorn, it's like, I see like the old black and white films where they grab them by the collar and they're shaking them. They're like, just pick yourself up off of this floor, you sorry sack of sorrow, like just do it. Like, it might just feel like this, come on, get up, just go do the thing, win big, get over the thing and do. I have to do it like this to adjust myself. But so, you know, try to be balanced. You don't want to be so hard on yourself that you're being cruel to your subliminal self, the little you, your inner child. And you don't want to be like emotionally, like an emotional tornado or, you know, maelstrom of, because that'll be like the emotional guilt, and that'll be the, you know, like emotionally making people feel like they are responsible for your feelings, and you feel bad because they hurt your feelings, and it's this entanglement type of thing. So the trine to Mercury in Taurus speaks to practical mentality. So you're going to know better. You're going to be very like, I know that this is unhealthy, or like, I know, you know, that's where it's like, I'm like getting like the shaking, like, what, like just do it, or fix the problem, or just show up for work. Why can't you just be on time? Or like, just be responsible, you know, do the proper thing. So you won't fool yourself on Wednesday about the work that needs to get done. Personally, I'm planning this middle of the middle of the week to do some really great writing. I'm excited. I'm really excited. So now the square to Jupiter in Aries on Wednesday speaks to circumstances that require more structuring to something that you are planning, or maybe that you're initiating. It depends on where you are when these transits are happening, like what stages you are in your, you know, personal cycles. So Wednesday just looks like busy work. You're really wanting to get something done. You're sharp. I also like the trine to Mercury in Taurus is positive sharing with friends, enjoying a cup of coffee out on the porch as a, you know, a 30-minute break before you go back in and really, you know, go resume the work. You know, breaks are part of work. So I really like that. That could be really great sharing with friends. And then the square to Jupiter could be that you need more structuring, that you're really excited. And, you know, just because it's a square doesn't mean it's bad. We don't make judgments on these things, like if they're good or if they're. This clock is so weird on the iPad. It's weird. It doesn't help. All of my clocks are like off too, so it doesn't help my existing situation of not knowing what time or day year I'm in. Okay, sorry, digression. All right, let's move on. Thursday, the 13th of the week of April. I was gonna call it the follow-up, but I'm gonna call it the Jetsons. We're gonna talk about both. So the moon enters the sign of Aquarius. So the next 2.5 days, it'll be like your personal version of the Jetsons. I love that show growing up. I don't know about you, absolutely loved it. Love the Jetsons, so cool. And it also has that like retro futurism, 1950s positivism, like just really, I love that. I love that part of it. So you might be feeling really much like invigorated for like getting where the cycle pump is going to drop you off. Okay, the water Uber letting you off on, you know, future 2.0. And now the moon conjuncts Pluto. Is it on Thursday? Yes. Moon conjuncts Pluto, and they will enter that trine with Venus. Really, really nice energy. Now, the way that this is like reactivating it, this is the follow-up part to Monday. So it really is about like Monday, Tuesday, and then the rest of the week kind of like supporting that, bringing that in. So it might feel like following up on Monday's like really exciting energy. There's more developments. I feel like this is so platonic. This entire week feels so platonic to me. So it doesn't mean that there's not like romance and love and all that, or attractions or all that stuff, but it's not like it's not the priority, and it's not like the vibe. The vibe this entire week is really like more collaborative, and it's more self-focused. So even if you are collaborating, it's not like it's not as much pressure on the collaboration because they can take care of themselves. I hope that makes sense. It's like there's, because of this positive energy this week, it's like everyone's birthday on Tuesday, and it's the luckiest day of the entire year. and it's just very self-focused and self-motivated. So, you know, even if you are collaborating or if you're in a partnership with your spouse or something, it's still because you don't have to think about them. Like, you can trust them. You can trust them. You don't think about them. You don't think about it. You just trust them. They're going to take care of it. They're going to take care of themselves. Okay. And you get to focus on you. You get to focus on your thing. You don't think about what they're doing in the next room. You don't think about where they are, where they're going, whatever, because you have your own thing happening. You have your own thing that your own goals that you're focusing on. So that's why I really like that sense of independence and being united and tied to somebody else on a sense of mutual independence and just capability. You know, I feel like this can be very capable. So the moon conjuncting Pluto trining Venus, more developments, yes, but it's likely new relationships and interesting conversations. So much about, okay, let me just give you the answer. The answer to manifestation. How do you like really manifest? Manifestation. All you've got to do is focus 100% of your attention. Singular focus. Nothing else exists for you except what you're focusing on. 100% focus, singular focus with zero resistance. You got 100% of your mind, okay? 5% of it, a little bit, 5% of your entire mind is your conscious mind. That's what you want. That's what your focus is. But 95% of your mind is your subconscious mind. So when people try to manifest and it's not working, it's because they have resistance in that subconscious mind. That's when you say, I'm working and I'm making all this money and I'm living paycheck to paycheck and I'm broke all the time. 5% of you is trying to, you know, build wealth or something, but 95% of your mind, the messaging is what your dad said is, you're shallow if you make money, or you are, that's the root of all evil, or you have a subconscious loyalty to your father, so you can never do better than him, because then it's going to ruin your relationship with him, or whatever, you know, or with women, with whatever it happens to be, whatever you're trying so hard to do, and if it's not happening or you're not manifesting, you have the resistance in the 95% of your mind. You're doing, I talked about this with one of my regulars this past week on Zoom. So the example I give, you're at the sink doing dishes and you're gonna take a road trip. You're planning in your mind, you're washing the dishes, but you're planning in your mind, okay, I'm gonna stop at AutoZone, I'm gonna get oil for the car. If you're a Beamer owner, you know. And then I'm going to get gas, and then I'm gonna drop off this thing, then I'm gonna pick up this thing, then I'm gonna get on the highway, and then I'm gonna go get my coffee, blah, blah. But then, out of nowhere, a memory drops in, a feeling comes up, a thought comes in of maybe a road trip you took with your family when you were little, or an road trip you took with your ex, or some random memory about something that has nothing to do with road trips, or, you know, some feeling or some insecurity, something negative, really scary comes up. That's the subconscious mind. You planning what you're going to do with your day is the 5% conscious mind, but the thoughts you receive are the subconscious. Let me repeat, the thoughts you choose to think is the 5% conscious mind, and the thoughts that you receive, things that you receive, is the subconscious mind. That's also how the telepathy, it's part of how telepathy works. Okay, so so the fact that the moon is the subconscious as well, activates this plutonic energy. And I really feel like this could help to bring down people's intolerances, all of our intolerance, our resistance to ideas and concepts and relationships and ideologies and situations and just concepts that could really benefit us, that could really help, that can help us grow and can help us progress humanity forward. I feel like this helps to invigorate whatever was getting that going Monday, Tuesday. But again, very interesting conversations. I think if it's conversations, it could be talking about the future, talking about bringing something into existence. Okay. Now this is a little bit of a thing. So all of this is taking place really immaterially. with Venus, Pluto in the air signs, and then the moon reactivating that connection on Thursday. So the example I want to give you is psychic. Let's talk about some psychic examples. So these are all thoughts and ideas and conversations. None of that you can like prove unless you write it down or unless you record it, but it's all immaterial. So the psychic equivalent would be hearing voices, talking to dead people, or having dreams about things before they happen, or claircognizance, a clear knowing something's going to happen before it happens. All of that is taking place up here. It's all up here. You don't know. It's like very. It's up here. It's invisible. Telekinesis is taking all of that and grounding it down into a physical expression, and you need earth sign energy for that. So all of this is taking place very immaterially. This is making the plans, being on the phone, talking to people. So unless you are making like the commitment, or unless you are writing it down, it'll stay up there. It'll stay in the air, and it won't show it. It won't show physically. So this conjunction, I feel like, activates, it's a follow-up to Monday's energy, and build off of it, build off the idea. It was absolutely brilliant when I learned like a lot about outlining and the importance of outlining for like professional reasons. So I'm talking about air, okay? So in a clip of one of the promo things for it, Matt Damon said that Ben Affleck told him, please don't judge me for how bad my bad ideas are, but for how good my good ideas are. And this is speaking to so many different things. First of all, that you need to feel safe to air out all of the ideas. You need to feel safe and confident and secure and empowered to just channel. No one says it like that, but that's what it is. Creative people, artists are channeling. So from my I have the psychic occultist perspective. So if I were helping like an artist with this, I would say, I would talk about it like in that way, in that sense, where you are channeling this creative energy. But when you make a judgment on it before it even gets out, you're stopping the flow. You're stopping it. You're like sending it back. You're like, putting the phone down. So part of that is in this week too, baked into this week, feeling safe to air out these ideas. And he says in the thing that bad idea can actually morph and grow into a great idea. So that's number one. Oh my God, just like a personal thing. So I'm back on the MH370 script, you guys. Another thing that I watched about this air movie, guess who wrote it? It was someone who literally watched The Last Dance, a Netflix documentary, and wrote a script about it. It's called a spec script. It means you write a script because you just want to. How cool is that? Like, I thought that was so freaking cool. When I learned that, I was like, oh. So that watching that really discombobulated, that threw me off of this whole thing. I mean, it was really wonderfully creative and very deep and intense, but I feel like I'm now like really recovering from that. That was like a random Saturday that it took my entire Saturday, and then I just went on a writing binge, and then it took me out of my telekinesis practice, and it was like then my schedule got really out of, like, it was a whole thing. And that was like a month ago. So like, anyway, back to outlining. So outlining is like, so they made a lot of changes to that script, that air script. Chris Tucker came and like made a whole thing for himself, like with that role. And it was like that script was already written, but in the outlining stages, it's so much easier to make changes. It's for everyone to share that collaborative experience with everyone, so that everyone gets to own a piece of it, get to own their part and their contribution. So I really feel like Thursday could, and this entire week, because it's so airy, like even Aries energy, you want to act, but you need to be careful that you're taking the right actions. That's why I say it's beneficial when you're being sincere, and not when you're being performative. when you're being performative and you're trying, but you just want the credit for trying and you're not sincerely trying. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like this conjunction with Moon reactivating and hitting Pluto, like conjuncting Pluto, like something has to change and something is deeply changing, like on a foundational, fundamental, can't hide from it anymore kind of a way. But you can make changes to the outline this entire week and it'll be a lot easier for you before you write the entire spec script. And then, you know, it might be a little bit difficult to make changes. So it depends on if, I mean, he had to write the spec script so that people could see it. I don't know if people actually talk about outlines. I don't know if that's like a thing, but he made the spec script. So I mean, so I'm really interested because I have my outlines and I'm gonna have my spec script. So I feel like it's gonna be like, well, if you like the script, then we can just tweak the whatever you want for the, my only answers are gonna be, it's all good, and whatever you want are going to be my only answers to anything. It's not just customer service to your customers, it's customer service to your coworkers and your employees and the people that you are collaborating with and how you're working with each other. So I feel like my only answers to anyone are going to be, it's all good and whatever you want, yes. You want to change my MH370 script totally differently? Yes. What color would you like this written in? The pen ink, you know, like, yes, absolutely. So but this week will help you be like open-minded. You cannot be like an annoying, intolerant person and super like, you know, if your son's trying to open you up to a person he's dating that you don't like them, you can't be intolerant and racist and just like ruin their love story and ruin their lives forever. So, you know, it's like you can make those changes now. You can make those adjustments to the outlines. And Thursday is like a flashback or a clapback or a follow-up to Monday. So new relationships, interesting conversations. Friday, I'm in love. I call it, okay, so Friday is the 14th of April. I'm calling it growth spurt. And that's because we have Venus in Gemini squaring Saturn in Pisces, and also that moon in Aquarius squaring Mercury in Taurus, and Mercury and Uranus in Taurus. So Friday, I'm calling it the growth spurt because of the Venus square to Saturn. And this is like the last, like, harsher element. This is the last really intense contact that Venus will have before just like chilling and coasting for the next few weeks. So I love this energy. I'm actually really fond of this, even though it's a square. We don't judge it good or bad. With this energy, you can make something stand the test of time and do the right thing. You could do the right thing and make it stand the test of time. And what you want to do that by proving respect to yourself first and then respecting other people. Okay? When people lie, it's because they can't be honest with themselves. So they're not going to be honest with anybody else because they can't be honest with themselves. Okay? People are afraid to tell the truth. People are afraid to be not conspicuous, but people are afraid to be, I mean, right now it's like the older generations are more fearful of transparency and the younger generations right now are more, we're not afraid. You know, we're not, like, it's like there's nothing to fear. So, you know, the younger generations, they're like, can we please have more transparency? And it's like, let's just deal with it. Like, whatever the truth is, like, let's just deal with it and just, okay, it's dealt with and all right. So, you know, you want to be honest with yourself. You want to be honest with other people. And it can go really well for you. There will still be some kind of like thing to get over, some kind of hurdle, or like it's a challenge. All you have to do is meet the challenge. And this is like the secret to life. So this is why I say you want to be as happy as possible, as soon as possible, for as long as possible. Because cycles, we learn in cycles of pain, and we learn through cycles of rewards. Pain cycle, reward cycle. So we get to choose though, and I'm going to talk about that for Saturday. you be as happy as you can, because the karma, the lessons, the cycles of learning, all of that stuff will come up. The challenges will come up, and all you have to do is meet them when they come up. You just focus on being happy, writing your little script, doing your little thing, your little life, whatever it is. And then when the challenges come up, you meet them. And this happens to me, especially when there's something that's been a long-standing thing. I'm like frustrated, and I ask myself, what am I trying to learn? What am I still trying to learn that I just haven't gotten it yet? What am I trying to learn to figure out, like, how long is this going to last, right? And what is my resistance? What is my subconscious resistance that I have to like get rid of? Like, what is it? What is it? And let me try to figure that out. You know, so this is going to bring up some kind of little challenge for you to meet. But listen, once you pass Saturn's test, you get what you earn and you get to keep it. So it's worth it. It's always worth it. Likewise, and Saturn is timing. Saturn is being able to feel like we're on our own time. We get to do what we want with our time versus the time that we feel like belongs to others or a situation or a career or a job, because we committed this time to this, or we committed this, we allotted this time to be able to do this. And you know, if we're feeling resentful towards that, we're either not taking good care of ourselves or there's something off about that commitment. Okay, so the timing of something, or you know, communications, relationships, there could be maybe like an intimacy thing that needs to be, you know, overcome in order to make something stand the test of time. Likewise, there might also be a feeling that you need to take an option or need to take something off the table. Like Saturn might ask you to really evaluate like where you're putting your time. The Venus in Gemini could say like, well, don't be wasting your time on, you know, Snapchat, or don't be wasting talking to people that are like whatever people, or flim flam people, or like, you know, like making sure that it's like, or even if you want to just relax into Snapchat, relax into something, or relax into the friends that are just like, I don't know, like your drinking friends or something, you might have the commitment to answer to. You might have to show up at the office. You might have to be sharp. You might have to, you know what I'm saying? So meet whatever challenge comes up for you. It's a growth spurt though. It's growing pains. On that same day, on Friday, the moon in Aquarius will square over to Mercury and Uranus in the sign of Taurus. So you might feel like an idea is just too big to hold in your brain. And I'm telling you, I'm getting very platonic energy for this entire week. So I feel like this moon square to Mercury and Uranus is like, you know, whatever this growth spurt is, there's something about the future that needs to be like reconciled with some present situations. And there are some present situations and current relationship dynamics that need to evolve to meet the standards of the future. Okay, so it needs to be cohesive. It needs to make sense. You know, you're gonna, it's hard when you're dating someone that your racist mom hates and tries to sabotage. It's really, really hard. You're trying to make a future with someone and your past is sabotaging it. You know, I mean, that's a really dramatic, tragic Romeo example, but you know, a smaller scale, a much, much smaller scale on Friday, that you don't let any fears, Saturn, you know, you might want to escape. Okay, when I felt Saturn and Pisces very strongly, very viscerally, and it makes me want to like disappear. And what I mean by that is it makes me just want to burst into cosmic dust and just reabsorb into the atmosphere. That's what it makes me want to do. That's what I keep seeing and like feeling in my body. And just like, that's just, I'm just being honest. I'm just, okay. But what I do, and this is something that I've done my entire life since I actually first entered the workforce, is I always tell myself, Natalie, you can leave at any point. You can leave this room. and you can just run. You can just run, girl. You know, you can leave at any moment. You are always empowered to leave. You are always empowered to walk. You know, it's like you know, the father giving the daughter away at the wedding. If you need to leave right now, you want to leave, we can stop all this. We can just walk away. You don't worry about disappointing anyone here. We just walk away right now. I'll take you. We'll go get a milkshake. We can leave right now. If you don't want to do this, I'll take you and we'll leave. You can leave any being the father to yourself though. Okay, if you don't have that person there, if you never got that moment, whatever. So but I've been telling myself that since I first entered the workforce because, you know, and but that's what brings me peace. That is what makes me feel stable and strong and secure. I take my power. That's how I personally take my power back. I can leave at any moment, any time, any minute. But this is toxic, and that's what I do. I'll just leave. You know, if like with the actress example that I gave you guys before, like I'll just leave. I'll just walk away. I'm not gonna be entangled. I'm not gonna give permission to enter into an entanglement with me just because you want to fight with me or just because there's a conflict or anything. I will just be silent, just leave, just walk away, and I'll look for light. Because I want to stay in the light. I want to stay in positivity. I want to stay in my creative flow. I want to stay. That's where I want to be. So that's where I'm going to be. So, you know, Venus, Saturn, there might be like a little challenge or hurdle, but you can once you get past that, what you do have can stand the test of time. I could absolutely, you know, maybe it's even something that requires more commitment from you and you're like, oh man, like I don't know if I can commit to that. But if you overcome the fear and commit to it, it can stand the test of time. Now the moon squaring to Mercury and Uranus could be that there are some very, like the growth spurt could be conceptual and idealistic, and it could make you confront your intolerance to a concept or your intolerance to a way of thinking, your intolerance to an idea or something like that. So that's the only thing, is that it might be like too big to hold. You might need some time to sit with it. You might need some time to marinate in it. Okay, I'm not sure if it's obvious or if you can tell, but the rest of this recording didn't record, it was lost, and I had to go out. I had to dash out of the house before I could like re-record it. So yeah, this is take deux. Okay, Saturday. We on Saturday? Saturday the 15th of April. I'm calling this day, the second time around, Mastery. This is the Sun conjuncting Saturn in Pisces. It's okay. The moon in Pisces will also square over to a Venus in Gemini. So the conjunction with the moon in Saturn, usually it's a bit of a downer. It's a little bit serious. I feel, okay, Pisces is a very playful energy. It's a very playful placement. And the tone or the style of playfulness is not like just, there's so many different types of humor. There's so many different types of just like being funny and making people laugh. Like that's the thing. It's like I know it makes me laugh. Like I make myself laugh like my entire life. That's like mirrors. I love mirrors because it's like that was one of my favorite things growing up, is to just like make, you know, like rubber faces, make, you know, silly faces like in mirrors. And so it's like a friendly thing. Pisces humor, Pisces play is like you're just waiting in line. You're waiting somewhere very mundane, you know, at the grocery store, and then you know, there's a woman in front of you that has like a baby over their shoulder, and you just go, you know, you're just like, you know, making like silly faces at the little baby, and they're like, you know, maybe they mimic you or they're laughing, and it's just, or if there's like a weird sound and you mimic the weird sound, like it's very, very, it's really silly, but it kind of goes under the radar. So I feel like the Sun conjuncting Saturn, it could be, for some people, I feel like it'll be sort of like denying that part of yourself, feeling like, because this is just the very beginning of Saturn in Pisces, we still have like years of this to go. So if you're feeling like you want to burst, I mean, not burst. If you want to disappear, if you're feeling you want to disappear, no one wants to just like burst. But that's how I've been feeling this Saturn in Pisces is like I just want to disappear. But like whenever I get that feeling, I just see this bursting. So um I feel like people may want to evade. We may want to just like leave the situation, escape, and not have to like deal with it, not to confront anything. And the answer will, of course, be to meet. I don't want to say confront. That sounds so confronty. Let's just say meet. You know, you want to meet the thing, and the way you can meet is through this silliness, is through the play, or is through having fun, or through making jokes, or you know, some way to let the seriousness not feel so heavy. Okay, so having some kind of, you know, way to cope with these things. So what I have written here, commitments. Yeah, it's commitments too. Commitments are teaching you so much when they're good or when they're bad. The choice is yours. Cycle. So we learn through cycles of pain cycles. You touch the stove, it's hot, and you just keep touching the damn stove. And we, you know, hopefully, hopefully, that's like the best case scenario is to learn through pain. Pain is the best teacher. That's the best case scenario. The worst case scenario is we keep hitting the stove, it's hot, it's hot, it's hot. We keep burning ourselves, and then we're mad and we feel like victims. We feel like victims of that stove for being so hot. We feel like we're victims of the air for being so airy. We feel like, oh my God, you know, and it's like, and we live and die in those lifetimes. Okay. We all have lifetimes, like probably most of our lifetimes where we just didn't, you can't fit all of the esoteric learning in like one little lifetime. You have to like build on it over multiple lifetimes. So, you know, that's kind of a rut. That's rut energy that you can't feel like you can, you know, surpass it. But that's just one lifetime. Maybe in one lifetime we never crack the, you know, one thing or something. So that's one cycle to get out of. What you want to do is get out of that cycle and into the reward cycles, and learning through a reward cycle, learning through, wow, hard work, and I get the reward. You know, it's not just, you know, some of the I feel like it might be a little bit detrimental or problematic is a spiritual perspective that is in unbalanced, where it's like too much in the air. You know, it's too much manifesting through all of these things without practical. On the other side of it, you know, you want the weight of the groundedness. You do want to have, and this goes back to the telekinesis, where the telekinesis is taking all of that and grounding it, being the conductor. Okay. So when you're using that spiritual muscle, it's grounding, it's being the conductor. There it goes. So this these commitments, how they feel on Saturday, that's why I'm calling it mastery. Self mastery. That's what this all is about, is self mastery. You get to choose what cycle. Okay, you get to choose. You get we. These are all our free will choices. So you get to choose whether you're going to say I'm going to keep touching the stove, or you're going to say I choose a different choice. I'm going to make a different choice. So, but you're not going to. Don't be blaming the stove for being so hot that you just couldn't. You know, that's not going to help. It's not going to do anything good for you. So also on Saturday, the moon squares Venus, and I feel like that's also kind of like goofy and silly and fun too. Like it can be sort of like just fun and jokes and banter, witty, funny. Like I just wouldn't plan anything like a strict schedule on Saturday. You know, if anything, it could be that you're just enjoying someone or something that's maybe a little bit older than you or younger than you, or maybe it's like a serious tone. Maybe the circumstances or the context is, you know, a little bit heavier or a little bit more serious. Maybe you're having a road trip to go pick up your kid from college and you guys have to go do this errand or go do family business. And it's like it's fun, you know, but it's like it's like you got work to do. You have an agenda, you know, you have an assignment. So it's good if you want to work by the pool. If things are good, then you'll want to work by the pool. You want to integrate some of that. But if things are not going that great, you may struggle with yourself and blame someone else. You may blame the stove, you may blame the government, blame your parents, you may blame your spouse, you may blame your past, you may blame your parents, you may blame everyone except the one thing that you can control, or that we want you to want to control: self-mastery, the self. Sunday, the 16th of April, I'm calling it excited or get excited, something like that. Basically, the moon in Pisces trines Mars in Cancer. So there's good vibes about the future, very good vibes. It's a very busy day, but little getting in your way. This is probably going to be like, it moves, you know, it moves well, it moves easily, it moves the way you want it to, and it's like it's got a nice like flow to it. It's flowy. So Sunday looks great, looks fun, looks like a great time. Okay, so I think this is like the first time ever that I've ever like just talked and not had it recording for a really long time like that. So um and because I went out for like quite a long time and it's like very, very late at night, my psychic juices are all juiced out. So your cards, we did the wild unknown animal, and your cards. Okay, so the popper was the turtle, and then you have the unicorn at the bottom of the deck. Duh. Okay, so you had the turtle, and then you had the unicorn at the bottom of the deck. So I'm going to read them, and you get to decide if this is your message. If this resonates or if it does not resonate, this is. Let us start with the turtle. Ancient soul, grounded, trusting, at home in the self. It is wonderful to be in the presence of a turtle personality. Like the beaver, the turtle has a strong relationship with the earth and water elements simultaneously. This helps to ground and connect them to the deeper truths of life, no matter where their tunnels lead them, no matter where their travels lead them. Turtle energy is behind all great writers and storytellers as they collect life experiences under their shells for later use. The most potent turtle energy helps us close all the other books and begin to tell our own true tale. I really got really excited when I saw that it says that turtle energy is behind all great writers and storytellers. I didn't know that that would be like in this book. I got really excited. When you're in balance, you are peaceful, you are adventurous, and you're productive. When you're out of balance, you slow down to a halt to bring yourself back into balance and adventure. Okay, so this is little turtle energy. Like I love that, carrying your stories, you know, under your shell. So it's very Cancerian. I guess that's why I like it. But okay, so you have your turtle, and the unicorn's a very special energy because it's not a common element. So this deck has like these little symbols at the very top, and the unicorn has the symbol that's very, very rare. So let's read about it. Oh, the spirit. It's this. Oh, I guess. Okay, spirit. Alrighty, let's take a look. Just want to lean back because I feel like this sound is just not as great. Okay. Unicorn, reconnecting to higher wisdom or divinity. It's difficult to see, hear, or think of a unicorn without immediately questioning if it's real. Did they ever exist? Perhaps long, long ago? The mind answers maybe, or it could be, or no way. This very contemplation explains our relationship with divinity and encapsulates our wavering belief in the unicorn. We wonder what divinity is. We wonder where our intuition comes from and if we can really trust it. We think about a higher power and our mind hesitates between yes, no, and maybe. Is it male or female? Does it have a name? Is it just a feeling? The unicorn card appears and wakes us up to curiosity about the higher self and the divine. It is a card of questioning, exploring, and contemplating the inexplicable. The mind's eye knows there is something beyond our day-to-day lives, a deeper dimension to our experiences. The mind's eye reaches and reaches and reaches out to grasp something more. You are the unicorn, and you have begun your quest for the answers. So I really feel like if you are creatively blocked for some reason, or if things are not like stagnant, but maybe not as interesting or exciting, complacent. That's the word, complacent. Let me bring the exact wording of, because she puts it very well. Okay. Because the turtle energy is about connecting to the deeper truths of, and I have both of them right here, connecting to the deeper truths of life. And so if you're out of balance in this turtle energy, things slow down to a halt. So that could be your creativity, that could be your zest for your job, for your career, what you do. This could be, you know, certain relationships. This could be, you know, anything that has slowed down to this halting sort of stoppage. So it says here, the most potent turtle energy helps us close all the other books and begin to tell our own true tale. So you need a little bit more adventure, right? Is what the message is saying for this turtle. While the unicorn is all about the quest for answers, to question a deeper meaning and to explore divinity, to see what's out there. This is a mythological thing, like a unicorn, you know? So, you know, it's very much, it's very clear, like with this combination, to let yourself have the adventure. I also love that it says this here, turtle energy is behind all great writers and storytellers as they collect life experiences under their shells for later use. So this is what, so Angelina Jolie was interviewed on the red carpet, asked about what would be her advice to up and coming actors. And she was very thoughtful and she said, live life, like have experiences, get experiences. So it's sort of like the similar, you know, with writers and actors, is the more experiences, the more different experiences you have, more open-minded you are, the more varied and, you know, rich in variety life is for you, the greater an actor you're going to be, the greater storyteller you're going to be. And in this case, you don't even have to be creative. This involves being a human being. The greater a human being you will be, you're going to lower your intolerance to certain concepts and ideas and feelings and people and situations. And it's going to be a richer experience for you. So don't even think about any marginalized groups of people or any political correctness. Don't throw all of that out the window. This is about your quality of life experience being better because you're not a grouch ass, frigid, intolerant, you know what I'm saying? So guys, I'm a Capricorn, Aquarius, Moon, and Mercury. I was a very intolerant child. I remember when I was like a child, I was quite intolerant. So, you know, like clearly with this unicorn energy is about like going on an adventure, exploring. There's a little bit more actually with the unicorn. Okay, the unicorn and the six. See, this is why it's like a special extra specialness for you guys. Okay, the sixth chakra, energy centers everywhere. It's no surprise the subtle essence of the unicorn card resides at the third eye, the exact place from which the unicorn's horn extends. This center is called the Ajna chakra, or the command center. It's more like the back computer. The ancient yogis believed it to be responsible for our intellect, intuition, and deepest wisdom. Some say our two eyes see the past and present, while this third eye peers into the future. So someone's third eye could be activating or opening up, or you could just, if anything feels like stagnant, like, you know, going to the office is like ho hum, or like your career is a little bit like meh, you know, it's great, but it's safe and it's meh, or, you know, whatever it happens to be, you just need an adventure. You need to open that third eye and open up to some very different this is speaking more towards like a spiritual, sort of occultish experiences, you know, mythological and divinity, connecting with the divine. But if you feel something, if you're thinking about something when I'm talking about the stagnancy, it's that, is opening your mind and lowering your intolerance, becoming more tolerant, so that you could welcome new, different people and experiences into your life, and you benefit. And then that gets the blood flowing again. Okay? Okay. Love you guys. Take very good care. Have a great week. Enjoy the lucky everything of the week this week. Happy birthday to all of us for the Jupiter Sun Cazimi on Tuesday. And until next time, my loves, many beautiful blessings upon all of your beautiful heads, darlings.